So I'm taking Daisy May out. Don't knock that fence over, horse. And she's doing her saddling up really well. She comes right over the mounting block now. But I forgot to record it, so I'm trying to remember to get off out here and put it back on. So this is us leaving the barn. I always hand walk the horses first to see how they are and how they leave the barn, and she did fine with it. She's looking at the trash can. So she's wiggling a little. She's like, "You sure you want to go out here by ourselves?" Yep. When they do that, that's not a big deal. It's usually, you know, somebody hasn't ridden them much alone, so they're not used to going out alone, and you just got to push them. So you got to have enough leg or stick or spurs just to kind of back yourself up. And all the horse is doing is really testing to see if they have to do it for you. Remember, they're just like kids, so they're like, "Do I have to behave?" And you're just like, "Yeah, you got to go." So you just push them. Sometimes you got to get after them more. But most of the time it's just a test, and lots of people give in and fail the test because they're like, "Oh, he's not going to go out, he's going to buck or this or that." You can have someone else test them first and see if they do anything bad, but most of the time you just got to push them. Yeah, okay, sneezing and walking down a hill, that's always fun. And then we got a power washer coming up. We got the dog. Eating out of the tree. Well, it's not a ladder, it's a gate. Smart, but not that smart. So remember, when you're going out alone, you want to go out forward, come back slow. The horses want to do the opposite. They want to go out slow and come back forward. So you're trying to change that mindset. So do a little gait or walk fast out. She just pulled on the bit. I know some of you guys asked about rooting on the bit. Most horses do that because people don't release at the right time, and then the horse yanks and the person releases. So that's what it is. So you just have to correct the behavior. So when they pull, you hold, and when they're not pulling, you release. Sometimes you have to hold for quite a while, so I always do it in the arena first, just like my video where it says giving to the bit, which I can post that if you guys haven't seen that. She just pulled again, so I just hold. Then as soon as she's not pulling, I release with my hands. So sometimes also because people have ridden with no contact at all, they rode the horse like this. So the horse looked, she's like, "Oh, we're free." So the horse is not used to contact on the bit. So you do want to ride with contact at some times, even if you ride on a loose rein. At different times during each ride, pick up your reins and ride with some contact so your horse still gives to the bit and doesn't think it doesn't have to listen to the bit anymore, okay? Now we got a weed whacker coming up on the left, but she's still doing pretty good. You saw when I dropped the rein, she just went off to the left. A lot of horses do that in the beginning. You know, in time, if you want to ride them on looser reins, you get them used to a longer rein. But first you got to get used to the horse, make sure they respect and listen to you, and then over time you can loosen up when they're being good. I usually don't do that in the beginning. It's more when they're tired, you know, or towards the end of the ride. That's a better time to try and go on a longer rein. But if you're going to do that, always make sure that you can pick up your reins really fast if something it comes up, you know. If you can't pick up your reins really fast, then you shouldn't ride on a loose rein until you can. Because remember, that's your brakes. And you want to make sure you can hit your brakes if you need to, not 2 miles down the road. Hi.
Hi.
What a cutie. Good. Good job, bud. When I get these horses and they come to me and they're new like this, you know, you see a lot of them go crooked, and that's because people just either let them follow the trail or didn't care that they were wobbling all over the road. So when you ride down the road or a fire trail, you know, pick a line, an invisible line, and try to follow it and keep correcting your horse in between your hands and your leg, holding them straight so they learn to travel in a straight line. Quarter horses travel quite well in a straight line because they're so stiff. But our horses are so loose and lanky and have laxity, and ones that are flexible like her can wobble all over, and you don't want to be wobbling all over. So just keep correcting them and holding them straight, because they don't know the difference. They're like, why? Why should I go straight? They're like, because it's easier, and I'll just keep annoying you if you don't. That's why. See, now she's quite straight. So, but it's usually somebody didn't teach them, and that's why. Or they just had single tracks and they just followed the single track, but the person didn't do anything about it. So when you're crossing roads, if there's a bunch of you and there's a big space afterwards, somebody from England told me this, and it's a great idea, is they all get together, say there's 7 people, and they all cross the road at the same time instead of crossing single file. That way they all get out of the way together. See if she goes up this curves. Some horses have not been up curved. Good girl. Let's see if we can do this gate. Good girl. Good girl. Whoa. This gate sometimes swings back. So we gotta make sure it stays out easy. Okay, Daisy, go. She's like, no. I knew it was gonna swing. You can do it. Good girl. So see, she had a little issue. That's no big deal. I don't know if she's ever done gates before. This is just a test. I know she knows how to side pass. Good girl. Hey, don't smash into it. Good job. Good girl. So that took a little consistency to get me to get her through it, didn't it? So now I'm just going to stand here for a second. We'll give her a little cookie. But that was quite good. Right? You did quite good. But sometimes the horses are new. They don't understand. Somebody didn't go gates with them, or they only had one gate, so they just don't know. So this is her first time coming up here. See how she's going back to wobbling. So I'm going to shorten up my rein. And usually the faster you go, the straighter they are. So let's pick up a little speed instead of wobbling back and forth. Because she's a little nervous. She's not bad, but get rid of that energy. So let's go forward and get rid of it. It's all right. A lot of people don't ride alone, so a lot of horses are not used to going alone. They're used to being in groups. On my right, there's a barn with horses. I don't know if she can see them or not. But she's doing fine. But these farmland covers and stuff, can be quite different for horses. They don't know what the heck they are. We'll slow down when we get to the speed bump. It's okay. Good girl. She's like, what the hell's a speed bump? So I was pushing her forward, and then I just kind of let her go, and she just slowed herself down. Just looking to make sure no cars are coming. So as you're riding, you're trying to look for things like, this horse is new, what could they possibly spook at? Well, everything. But on my right, there's a car cover, and air is under it, and so it looks like a huge balloon. So that could be one thing. Then these farm things, which are all tarps blowing, that's another thing. But she seems to be doing okay with that. Then we got little flags on the post. Right? So there's all these things we don't notice if you're not looking for them. The flag will fly and your horse will spook, and you'll have no idea why it's spooked. So all these things, because they're not used to them in the beginning. And again, they can be quite bad the first trail ride. And it can take a while. But some of the horses that have the worst trail rides in the beginning can turn out great. You just got to give them time, patience, get them used to the stuff. Or just hand walk them for a while. Okay, but I think she's doing great. So this is where the pony shows up every time. He's actually posing for a picture. Here he comes. You want to see him? Good girl. So that's good. She's standing pretty calm. Girl. Okay. Hi, pony. So good. These are all little tests, like will she separate when she sees another horse? These are lots of things people don't think about. But buddy sour horses usually have meltdowns when they see other horses and they can't go with them. So you got to be able to ride that. You know, or if you can't, don't get a horse that does that. So we got the flag flapping. She's doing okay with that. So when you're out here, again, you can only really work on one thing at a time. So she's nicely gaited, but if you see a little bounce in the step, it's because she's getting a little pacey when she gets nervous. That's not something you have to fix. People think, well, how do I fix that pace? No, you just got to fix the nervousness, and that's just her coming out here and doing this over time. And then when she relaxes, she'll relax her back, her head won't be so high, and then she'll go back to gaiting nice. Okay? So, that's just getting her used to the trails. So if that's your issue, that's not a bad issue. Because that's much easier to fix than a horse that hard paces, and she doesn't do that. She's doing good. All the horses are spooky right around here. Because it's in the shade and they can't see so much, but she didn't do anything. Remember, keep following an invisible line that you're tracing with your eyes, or use a mark on a road or oil stain or something to follow. This horse came with those endurance sneakers on. They're like rubber shoes. I don't know if any of you guys have those. If you do, let me know what you think. So far, I like them. They're doing good on the pavement. And we got the little spinny thing, and then we got a big tarp over a RV or something. Oh, you did good, girl. And we got the alpacas coming soon. So the alpacas are a little bit far away. So. Okay, so we're gonna head back. Now there's horses screaming to us. Ran up too late, so the tarps on that car are blowing. No, she's not seeming to care much, but fairly ready just in case. She's fine. So we're gonna get off and clean up the poop. Hi. So I picked up the manure and now I'm just walking, so she walks good when you get off, which is nice. So now I'm letting her graze on the side of the road. Just show you, she's very relaxed. She's doing really well for being alone. Okay, so I'm going to stand on this curb and see if she can sidle up to it. Right, she hasn't done this very long. She's a smarty pants, aren't you? Oh, good girl. Don't go on the curb. Good girl. Oh, she's a smart one. Teaching them to sidle up can fix a lot of mounting problems. Right? Don't go up the curb. pony alert. There's a bunch of ponies out. Where are we going? We live across the street. No, we'll see you next time, dude. Okay. Here comes the ponies galloping up behind us. Oh, she did great with that, didn't she, girlie? She's like, of course I did. So she's a little pacey again, going downhill. She seems to get pacey. So you can serpentine, that can help them. When they're new out here, I don't walk stop, because you'll just agitate them. So I don't do that until they're okay on the trails, you know, used to coming out here. But you can move their shoulders over, that's what I'm doing. I did a little serpentine with her and that didn't work as well. So if I just push their shoulders over a little bit, it separates their legs enough. It's smoother for the rider. Sorry about the wind. And over time they'll get the idea that going straight and walking slower instead of pacing is easier than walking sideways. But you just keep repeating this one side and then the other, and if they ever stop pacing and walk slower, then you just let them go straight like this. So that's better. Good girl. So you're just trying to show them a way to understand, because again, they don't know. They're like, what's the difference if I pace or gait? Because they don't know what it feels like on their own back. So now she's getting just a little bit more pacey again, so I'm just going to bend her and just go sideways. Some other advice: when you first come out alone, a lot of people want to walk really slow, and your horse is nervous, and horses feel better when they move their feet. So it's better to actually let them move. You can give them jobs, but go forward. Try to wear them out before you come out, so that'll help you. But you don't want to be trying to hold them back the whole time. That'll just agitate them more. So, you know, you can hold for a couple seconds, then give, hold, then give. But try and give them jobs, and then if that happens, you're like, next time I better prepare better. So say you did lunge, but it was 10 minutes, next time you do 20 minutes. If you do 20 minutes and you're like, that wasn't good either, then you do it 30 minutes. And you just keep coming out and repeating it and doing it. They should get better if you're doing it right. It's just so you see all the pretty flowers. Okay, so we're gonna try and open the gate. Go a little closer. Good girl. Don't let them run you through this. Good girl. Now I'm going to stop her. Good girl. That's a bike going by. That's good. Now we're going to get off because this is hard to lock. And for the first time out, she did great. There's no reason to torture her. I don't expect her to do everything. Okay, let's turn. Good job. There. If your horse tends to walk on you or be pushy, always have a stick with you, because again, you can wing it around you to keep the horse out of your space. You can wave it behind you like this or hit the reins. But if they don't listen to you on the ground, they usually don't listen to you under saddle. So it's something you got to work on every day. Every day. There are more cars coming. I'm pulling the garbage can with the horse. Where are you? Show your face. Okay. I'm letting her kind of get ahead so you can just see her. No, don't eat any grass. Okay, no, we didn't say it's not time. Okay, so now we're back at the barn. I brought the garbage in. And I'm going to get back on and practice some gaits. She didn't come home fast or anything. She was fine, but still. And then she's going to be tied up for a bit. Just to make sure. Good girl. Whoa. Oh, don't even need my stick anymore. Good girl. So I'm just doing lateral flexion. which we taught her before, but she used to just spin around, so now she's doing it pretty good. And then she knew how to do turn on the forehand and side pass, but somebody kind of messed her up or confused her, and so she kind of got antsy and kind of pulled on the bit. So I'll show you. I don't know if she's gonna be bad or not. And it wasn't bad, she just confused. So what I did was just break it down in steps for her. So I'm going to stop. She's kind of pulling, so you hold, now release. Okay, so I'm going to go to the right. So I'm just going to ask her for one step. So a little rein, little leg. Good girl. Now I think they kicked her and, you know, spun her around, so I'm just doing one step at a time. See the head shaking? I think that's frustration. That's what it seems to me. You know, I checked her, I thought it was her hair, could it be her teeth? But it's more when I'm asking her to do stuff that she shakes it afterwards. So, but it still could be the bridle. So one step, and then I just stop and sit here. Horses like this that are confused, one step. So right rein, right leg. You don't want to ask them to do the whole turn. You just want to break it down like, hey, it's not a big deal. We just do one step here, one step there. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to do another step. So a little rein, a little leg. Okay. Whoa. Well, she did a couple, but that's okay. Now I'm just going to let her sit here. So let's sink in. It's okay. But sometimes they get so much thrown at them, and then they get it all confused, and then their way of showing that they're confused or frustrated is pawing, throwing their head, putting their tongue over the bit, yanking on the bit. There's so many ways, but most of the time they're telling you, hey, you're either doing too much too fast, or it's all confused in my head and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So you just go back to their foundation, break it down, and then slowly build it back up. Okay, so now she's falling asleep, so that's good. So now she's not shaking her head, she's not frustrated. Now I'm going to try to the left, so I'm going to shorten the reins. I'm going to look left, a little left rein, a little left leg. Good girl. Now she does it pretty fast. See, right to the head shaking. We'll let her calm down for a minute, but we don't want to sit so long they forget what they're doing, because then she might go the wrong direction. Now a little left rein, a little left leg. Good girl. Now we let her just relax again. So if the head tossing thing is a frustration thing with her, well, now she's trying to do it on her own. Now she's trying to go the other way. And so if they're anticipating, I just try to sit here longer. But she's like, let's just get it over with. I know what you want now. But that's also a marker. So when she's not frustrated, if that's what the head shaking is coming from, then the head shaking will go away. But if you ask them too much, one right after the other, some of the horses memorize it, and then they're trying to do it ahead of time before you ask them. You can't get mad because they're trying to do the right thing. So you just got to do something else for a while and then go back to it. Okay, whoa. So she tried to walk off. She's trying to go the wrong way, so don't get mad. So just a little left rein, little left leg. And she spun a whole bunch, right? So that's it. Good girl. Okay, so she was a little bit attracted to her stall, so guess where I'm going to do the side passing. I'm going to go over by her stall. And these can be stressful for the horse, the turn, the side pass. So, you know, sometimes you just got to give them breaks in between. But it's good to use a fence. It helps you in the beginning. And again, I do that turn on the forehand, then I kind of drift them into it if they don't know what to do. So see, now she knows what to do. She was confused when no. So she's going every other direction. You want to stop them straight, because if she turns and I stop and that's when I give her the break, she thinks she gave the right answer, and next time I side pass, she'll try to turn again. So I have to be very light with my legs because she's sensitive, but then when I get her halfway straight, or I'd rather have her butt going this way, then I stop. So I'm going to try it again, and you go the same direction, because if you switch back and forth in the beginning, they get too confused. Okay. So my hands are going to go to the right, my right leg's off, she's going the wrong way, and now my left leg is on. Good girl. Good girl. Whoa. Good girl. So there she stopped straight. So now we'll let her settle again. And we're having the vet check her, so if it's something else to do with her head, I'll let you know. But see how it stopped? Okay, now that she's calm, I'm going to pick up the reins and push her again to the left. So reins will go that way. My left leg will push on with my calf, and then my right leg will be off. So here we go. Good girl, it's okay. So see how she gets agitated? Good girl. Now she's a little crooked, so more left rein. Good girl. Now we'll just let her settle. Okay, now when I try to go to the right, push her off my right leg, she's going to be very confused. I already know that. So I'm going to walk and try a turn in a minute, and then I'll try the side pass from there. But this is much better. When I first tried this with her, she was yanking on the reins, she was spinning sideways, she was doing all this stuff because I think she was so frustrated and so confused with people. Okay, so you just got to break it down, take it slow. Good girl. So let's walk down the rail a little. Now we're going to turn to the right. So I'm going to turn her. Then I'm going to push her off my right leg. Good girl. Okay. Now she's a little crooked, but that's okay. At least it's in the correct direction that way. Now she's smart, so since I just showed her which way we're going, now I'm going to just try to side pass her in a minute. But sometimes when you go one direction, say you push her off the left leg and then you go to push her off the right, they get all confused. So it's good to break it up, do something, then do one of your turns, push them off the leg that you're going to ask them. Okay, so we're going to shorten up the reins. No, it's okay. Push her off my right leg. Good girl. So I just wanted one step and give her another break. So sometimes people do this stuff over and over again, and then they're trying to perfect it, and the horse gets so confused it just gets worse instead of better. Okay? It's a hard movement. Just let it settle in their brain. But see, her stall's right there, so it's also making her stall not a great place to go, because this is what I'm doing right next to it. Now she's going the wrong way, so I'm not kicking her or anything, just nice and easy. I'm going to ask her to move off my right leg. She goes backwards, I just loosen up my reins. Good girl. No, now we're butt one to the right. Good girl. Now I'm going to let her settle again. Good job. Okay, but the better my side pass is, the better the gait. So if I can't side pass her, if she's having all these hissy fits, then when I go to the gates, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to get worse, and it's going to get dangerous, because you could bump into the gate and get your foot stuck or get something stuck on the gate. So you want this down well before you try that. Okay. And then if you're trying to do gates in the beginning, the easiest way is to, leave the arena, because the horse wants to leave the arena versus going into it. Good girl. Okay. But today, now what I'm going to do, good girl, is walk away. I'm going to go to the other end of the arena, and that's where I'm going to get off. But see, she did a good job, so now she's just on a nice loose rein, keeping everything just relaxed. It's no big deal. Sensitive horses, you got to be careful. People overload them with stimulus. Okay? They're a little hyper like me, so you just got to relax and try to break everything down and make it slow and easy. Whoa. Good girl. So this is where we're going to get off, as she flicks my reins over her head. Remember, keep your hand on the horn. Yeah, this is where I'm going to loosen the girth. Apparently it's loose already. She blew up some. I tightened it like 3 times. But overall, she did great for a ride down the road all by herself, right? She hasn't been here very long.